welcome to this week's webinar. Really quickly, what I want to cover today is something a little bit odd. I've talked to so many people who are older, who have more maturity in their life, more life experience. And when I talk to them, ask them questions, I find that they've just got so much wisdom on how to learn. They know themselves better. When I talk to a lot of younger people, and these are broad sweeps of the brush, okay, broad strokes. But with younger people, often I hear really a lot of enthusiasm and not a lot of life experience. And both have advantages and disadvantages, being older, being younger. What I want to emphasize today is how much of an advantage it is to have some life experience. So many people I'm talking to say, oh, I wish I could do what you were doing. If I would have been, so I just turned 41 this past week. If I was 41 again, I could get so much done with the knowledge that I have right now. These are 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds and 65-year-olds, people who are doing crazy good things in business. And they're trying to encourage me on some level, I believe. I read an article, and forgive me, this is a sports analogy, but I read an article about some athletes that were longer in their careers. When most people are getting out of the game, they were actually doing really well still. And this is what I picked up on from this article, that these individuals had worked on a unique skill in order to take them to the next level. And they were elite in their profession because they were working on this skill. Here's what I'm going to challenge you with today. Age and believing that you're a little bit too old to learn something is a complete misnomer. It's simply a belief. I'm going to give you an example with language. How many people believe that learning languages when you're older is more difficult when you're younger? I mean, think about this for yourself. Do you believe this? I've studied multiple languages. What I have found, this is my own life experience, what I have found is that it's far easier learning a language later in life than what it was earlier. Earlier, I didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the focus. I didn't have an understanding of language and able to be able to put things into place. So now when I learn a language, I've got this framework in my head where I can put things into place. My pronunciation I can work harder on because I've heard more languages. Because I've got life experience in this area a little bit, it's far easier to learn than younger people. I'm learning French right now. My kids are struggling with it. I'm doing really well. I'm learning quite quickly. So know that legitimately, this is a paradigm. This is a belief. It's not necessarily true. Now, how does this apply to business? How does this apply to business? So many people think, oh, if I would have started investing, if I would have started in business when I was younger, I would have done well. And you know what? You may have. You may have. The numbers, though, when you look at the numbers, they look like younger people aren't doing very well in business. They're starting little businesses. They're not doing very well. It's the older people that are doing well. And I'm going to back this up by a little bit of research again. There's a man named, I think his name is Harry Dent. I'm not sure, Mr. Dent. He's written a number of books. I think one's called The Great Depression Ahead. But basically what he does, his research is looking at demographics and how old people are and what that does to the GDP of a nation. What does it do to gross domestic product? What does it do for the economy of a country? And this is what he's found. He's found that people, and these are his words, basically, not mine, okay? It's my paraphrase of what he's saying. He says basically until somebody is 35 years old, about 35 years old, they're not doing much for the economy. They're still learning, they're still growing in the ways they need to grow in order to do well for the economy, in order to be profitable for their companies. Usually it's from the age of 35 to 65, those 30 years are the years when somebody is most productive, most useful to the economy. Think about that for a second. You are not too old. If you are just past 65, that's just past the best years of your life on average. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you extend that. Entrepreneurs typically extend that by, I don't know exactly by how much, but 5-10 years easy. Entrepreneurs are still super useful. I was listening to a man named Bob Proctor, and this is when he was about 85 years old, and he was jumping up and down stages. He was excited. Why? Because he had purpose in his life. Because he thought about what he wanted, because he knew what he wanted, he was able to go out there and do it on a completely different level than younger people. So I want to encourage you, if you're older, if you've got a little bit more maturity, if you've got a little more life experience, that's a good thing. Here's what I want to encourage you to do. If you are young, don't rush the process. I'm going to talk about time for a second. Time can be your best friend or it can be your greatest enemy, depending on how you use it. If you always try to rush things, time actually works against you because you run out of time to learn one thing in a small bit of time. But if you don't rush the process, if you're willing to say, you know what, yeah, sure, I'm 50, I'm 60 years old, whatever it is, I'm 41 right now, and maybe you're not in business the way you want to be yet. That's okay. What you want to do is don't rush the process. Learn the things you need to learn. Use your life experience to realize that you've learned a couple of things in a quick, short time, and it hasn't stuck. So take the time you need to learn. If you're young, grow. You have time. Grow. Make sure that you utilize your time to grow as much as possible. That's what I would give advice to people who are younger in business. If you're older, if you're more mature, trust that you have needed experience and grow. Okay? This is a really important point that I want to make, because if you are a little bit older, if you've got a little bit more life experience, you now have insights as to who you are. You now know how you learn. You know what gets you into trouble. You know how to communicate with people better. You know how to what you struggle with, procrastination or whatever it is, and you can overcome those hurdles quite quickly. If you're, I don't know, 20, 25, and you're not yet understanding what you need, you're in trouble. So again, if you've got a little bit of life experience, you've got a little bit of maturity, that's a helpful thing, not something that's going to come back against you. Okay, here's some keys to success and some action steps for you. Okay, the keys are to do the right things for the right amount of time. That's it for business. Do the right things for the right amount of time. Don't rush the process, and you don't have to wait forever for it. Do the right things for the right amount of time. There is no such thing as an overnight success that lasts. So what I encourage you to do is take the time to learn what you need to learn to grow in the ways you need to grow. Now, I promise some action steps today of what you can focus on. This is what I would do. If this were me and I said, you know what, I've really got to grow my business. I'm struggling a little bit. I need to grow a little bit. What I would look at is I'd look at a few different areas of my business. I'd look at marketing. I'd look at sales. I'd look at product development. And I'd look at how I'm taking care of people. Those four things, okay? Some people call it research and development, the third thing. I'd look at those four areas and say, what is the one area that I need to grow most? And I'm gonna give you a hint. If you don't know which of those areas you need to grow most, I would focus on the first one, marketing. Most people believe that marketing is social media. Marketing is not social media. Social media is one tiny little realm of marketing. Marketing is becoming more visible to more people and having those people trust you for your product. Giving value over and over and over again. That's what marketing is. It's a long process. It's not a short process. It's not get rich quick. Take the time you need and do the things right. So if you don't know out of those four things, I'll mention them again. So there's marketing, there's sales, there's research and development for your product or service, and the last one is how you're taking care of people. That includes employees, that includes partners, that includes clients and customers, how you're taking care of people, okay? So, and how you're communicating. If you don't know out of those fours which one to focus on, I would focus on marketing, and this is what I would do. If it were me to try it all over again, what I would learn is how to do marketing on my own. I have trusted many marketers with my business, and not one of them has done the job that I can do for my own business. Not because I'm a great writer, not because I've got degrees in marketing, but because I've got a small business. Any business that's under about $5 million is considered a small business of gross product a year. So I've got a small business. And what I'm trying to do is grow that. Nobody knows my business like I do. So whether you like it or not, whatever you think about it, whatever your paradigms or your beliefs are about marketing, this is what I would encourage you to do. What I encourage you to do is learn what it is. If you need help with this, reach out to me. I'm happy to give you a few minutes or a reply to kind of point you in the right direction. Here's what I would suggest. And these are two books or two authors, that I would encourage you to do. I'm looking behind me on my bookshelf to see if I can see them right now. One is called Guerrilla Marketing. And this guy, where is it? Levinson, Jay Levinson, Guerrilla Marketing. This book was written many years ago, and this person was a guru before there were even gurus in the marketing business. He took the marketing ideas that are used for large businesses and taught small business owners how to utilize them. This book is fantastic, not because it's about get rich quick, because it focuses you in on the things that you need to do for your business. The second guru that I would point you in the right direction of is Seth Godin. Seth Godin is another person that just really understands marketing well on a really large scale, and he's got lots of books and audios and other things that you can start following. That's something that I'm going to be consistently focused on. When I think about those 4 areas for my business, I try to focus on all of them, but on one area at any specific time to really grow it. I'm always maintaining all four areas, but I'm trying to grow one usually. So again, reach out if you've got any questions. I hope you enjoyed this. That's what I would do. Pick one area and focus in on that. Grow as much as you can in that. Know that if you've got an advantage, if you've got a little bit of life experience and maturity, you can outgrow other people right now. And what I'd encourage you to do is enjoy the process. Enjoy your week as well.